The landmark India-UK Free Trade Agreement has been signed in the United Kingdom in the presence of Prime Minister Modi and UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer. India stands to gain significantly from this trade deal in the form of access to cheaper British products, jobs, also duty-free access to UK markets for major Indian products. British products such as automobiles, healthcare equipment, soft drinks and beauty items will become more accessible to Indian buyers, as the average duty rates decrease from 15% to 3%. The free trade agreement guarantees that 99% of exports from India will have duty-free entry into British markets. In fact, the deal provides India significant benefits through the elimination of tariffs on roughly 99% of tariff lines, which is almost 100% of trade value. The FTA will substantially boost job opportunities across India. Meanwhile, the duty rates for cars will come down drastically from the existing rate of more than 100% to just 10%. This is, of course, subject to quota limitations, but manufactured vehicles in Britain like Jaguar, Land Rovers, they will benefit from this tariff reduction. Just listen in to what the UK Prime Minister and Prime Minister Modi had to say, followed by Sky News' correspondent Gurpreet Narwan's report.
Look, and we both know this is the biggest and most economically significant trade deal that the UK has made since leaving the EU. And I think I can say that it's one of the most comprehensive deals that India has ever done. So thank you, Prime Minister, for your leadership and for your pragmatism. And I'd like to thank everybody who's worked so hard to get this deal over the line. We've entered a new global era. And that is one that requires us to step up, not to stand aside, to deliver for the British people by building deeper partnerships and alliances. And today is very much confirmation of that approach.
डिफेंस और सिक्योरिटी में साझेदारी के लिए डिफेंस इंडस्ट्रियल रोड मैप बनाया गया है। हमारी टेक्नोलॉजी सिक्योरिटी इनिशिएटिव को और मजबूत करने पर काम किया जाएगा। इट इज अवर कमिटमेंट दैट फ्रॉम एआई टू क्रिटिकल मिनरल्स, सेमीकंडक्टर्स टू साइबर सिक्योरिटी, वी शैल क्रिएट द फ्यूचर टुगेदर।
What this deal is centred on is reducing tariff barriers on goods, on the majority of goods coming into the UK and going to India. As you said, this was more of a rubber stamping exercise. The deal was announced back in May, and it will make it easier for exporters of a range of products, including things like cars and whiskey, to sell into the Indian market. And then for the Indians, one of the major wins is on textiles. We know it's a big employer, a big industry in India. In terms of the numbers, the actual contribution to the UK economy, you'll have heard all the words from Starmer and Modi about this being a big landmark deal. It's worth about 4.8 billion to the UK economy. Now, it sounds significant, but it's actually pretty small. It's not transformational for the UK economy. It's worth saying that India's is still a highly protectionist economy. In Britain, for our part, we've been open for a while. We're a really open economy, which means that the potential for trade deals to shift the dial in terms of our economic growth is pretty small. But nevertheless, this deal is significant for other reasons. It's set in the context of growing protectionism across the world, particularly driven by Donald Trump, who's trying to redesign the global trade order, this lurch towards protectionism. Britain has been making the case for open and free trade on the international stage. And the Indians, for their part, are trying to position themselves in such a way that they might be able to attract some of that investment, some of that money that is leaving China as businesses are looking to diversify their supply chains. Starmer welcomed Modi today for that ceremonial moment at the Prime Minister's country residence at Chequers. He said it was the biggest, most economically significant trade deal Britain has done since Brexit. He said it sent a powerful message that Britain is open for business, and he said it could create 2,200 jobs. So, of course, that depends on how well the deal is implemented. And then Modi, for his part, He was very warm with the Prime Minister. He mentioned sort of shared cultural touchstones like cricket and spoke of the contribution that Indian immigrants have made to Britain, perhaps referencing some of the concern surrounding the deal back in May, a concern that it might lead to greater immigration and that it could undercut British workers by lowering those, or scrapping those national insurance contributions for the first 3 years for Indian workers.